What is that?
That, my friend, is a magical combination of corn flour, dehydrated cheese solids, BHA, BHT, and good old MSG, aka the chip.
I've got some potato chips. Here we go. One for you, and one for you.
We now live with so much sickness all around us that we can't even imagine what it feels like to live in a healthy society.
Over a 20-year span, no increase in calories, moderate increase in exercise, and yet obesity rates went from 30% to 42%. That should sound the alarm bells for us.
What if I told you that your favorite snack, the one you reach for when you're bored or craving something salty, is actually worse for you than smoking?
If you're eating these, as we showed in the piece, in essence, you're getting the same chemical that can be found in these. Acrylamide. So that chemical that forms in potato chips, also found in cigarette smoke, may lead to cancer.
You've heard the stories about how bad cigarettes are for your body, but the real truth about potato chips might shock you.
Potato chips.
Wow, you want them?
Behind that crispy crunch, there's a hidden world of chemicals, addictive ingredients, and health risks that could be slowly destroying your heart, brain, and even your skin. We've been sold the idea that chips are just a harmless treat, but the reality is darker than you think.
Potato chip has more fat, potassium, carbs, fiber, net carbs, sugar. Here's the problem, the vegetable oils.
The seed oils, the highly polyunsaturated vegetable oils, are driving probably 90% of obesity and chronic disease across the board.
Potato chips, the snack that's been marketed as an innocent pleasure, might be causing more damage to your health than you could ever imagine. Stick with me, because once you hear the truth, you might never look at a bag of chips the same way again.
If you look at seed oils when you cook them, when you heat them, and specifically you look at French fries, like at McDonald's or In-N-Out or any fast food joint, they're gonna cook in seed oils. There's been multiple studies looking at this, but one specifically looked at seed oils and the amount of toxic lipid oxidation byproducts when you make French fries out of them. And they looked at the amount of alpha-beta unsaturated aldehydes in 152 grams of French fries, which is a large fries from McDonald's or In-N-Out. And there's the same amount of these toxic chemicals that you find in 25 cigarettes. So the striking thing that I wanted to tell you is that if you consider the fact that eating a large fries contains the same amount of these toxic chemicals as a pack of cigarettes.
You probably think potato chips are just an innocent, crispy snack. They're tasty, they're easy, and they're everywhere.
The ridges don't just make Ruffles prettier than regular potato chips, they make them taste better.
But have you ever looked at the ingredients list? Most of us just see potatoes and salt. But wait, this is where the fun ends. What's hiding in that bag isn't just crispy goodness. Potato chips are packed with hidden chemicals, unhealthy fats, and preservatives, things that could be hurting your body more than you realize. It's like they're a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending to be a harmless snack, when in reality, they're a ticking time bomb for your health. Here's something you probably didn't know. Potato chips are fried in trans fats, also called hydrogenated oils, and those are linked to heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. But wait, it gets worse. When those chips are fried at high temperatures, they form a toxic substance called acrylamide, a chemical that is classified as a probable carcinogen. That means it's a potential cancer-causing agent.
Acrylamide is a probable carcinogen.
Acrylamide is a natural chemical which is formed when you heat certain food, such as starchy foods like potatoes.
Acrylamide is a very toxic poison. It's like a plastic, causes cancer. It comes from the combination of consuming high carbs, glucose or fructose, with an amino acid called asparagine under high heat.
Yes, you read that right. Your favorite snack might be increasing your cancer risk. So, the next time you reach for that bag of chips, just remember, what you think is a simple snack is really a chemical cocktail in disguise. Sure, it might be crunchy, but could it be more dangerous than a puff of cigarette smoke? After all, the chemicals in your chips could be doing more harm than you've ever imagined.
When you cook in seed oils, you generate these lipid oxidation products at levels similar to what you find in a pack of cigarettes. You can't buy these unless you're 18 years old, but you can give your 3-year-old French fries at McDonald's. And we never consider the potential long-term effects of those, especially these lipid oxidation products.
Let's dive into the real heart of the issue: heart disease. We've all heard it before. Smoking is the leading cause of heart disease, right? But what if I told you that the dangerous fats in your favorite snack, potato chips, could be just as bad, if not worse? Trans fats in chips do the same thing as smoking: raise bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower good cholesterol, HDL. This imbalance directly increases your risk of heart disease. So, is it time to rethink those crispy chips you love? Here's the shocking truth. Trans fats don't just raise your cholesterol, they actually contribute to artery plaque and cause inflammation. Over time, these factors clog up your arteries, increasing your chances of heart attacks and strokes. It's like a silent killer, and the scary thing is, most people have no idea that these chips could be just as harmful to their hearts as smoking. So the next time you hear how bad smoking is for your heart, just remember, potato chips might be doing just as much damage to your cardiovascular system. Imagine if chips were marketed the same way cigarettes were once advertised.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him. Time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette.
Would we even be eating them? What if the real heart attack risk was hiding in that bag of chips all along? It's not just your heart at risk when you reach for that bag of potato chips. It's your brain, too. You might be shocked to hear this, but potato chips are linked to cognitive decline, including conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. But how, you ask? Well, the acrylamide, the toxic chemical found in fried chips, isn't just harming your body, it's also affecting your brain function. Over time, it can actually damage brain cells and contribute to memory loss. But hold on, what if I told you that something as dangerous as nicotine might actually protect the brain, while potato chips do the exact opposite? Buckle up, because this gets even stranger.
A new study suggests eating junk food actually raises the risk of depression. And researchers found that foods containing a lot of fat or sugar or were processed led to inflammation. The study said chronic inflammation can negatively affect brain chemistry.
How could potato chips, something we all consider a harmless snack, actually be linked to memory loss and cognitive decline? And what's even crazier is nicotine, something we all associate with cigarettes, actually helping the brain. Could this toxic chemical be the dark horse in protecting us from brain diseases like Alzheimer's? What's really going on here? Now, this might sound crazy, but nicotine, the very same substance found in cigarettes, has actually been shown to help treat conditions like Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, and even gout and osteoarthritis. In fact, research has found that nicotine has neuroprotective properties, which means it can prevent brain cell damage and even reduce the symptoms of neurodegenerative diseases. Nicotine also helps stimulate dopamine production, which is crucial for motor function and cognitive health. But before you run off to grab a pack of cigarettes, hold up. Smoking is still one of the most dangerous things you can do for your body. Lung cancer, heart disease, and more. What I'm saying is, nicotine alone, without all the harmful tar and chemicals in cigarettes, has been shown to have some therapeutic effects. But that's not an excuse to light up. Research has shown that acrylamide, the toxic substance in potato chips, can damage brain cells, leading to memory loss and increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. On the flip side, nicotine, in its pure form, helps with brain health by stimulating dopamine production, a crucial chemical for cognitive function. So while nicotine might have some brain benefits, potato chips, with their dangerous chemicals and unhealthy fats, could actually be worse for your health than smoking. So the next time you're snacking on potato chips, remember, you're not just munching on junk food. You're literally draining your brain. Those chips aren't just harming your body. They might be messing with your memory and your ability to think clearly. You don't get any of the benefits from a bag of chips, and it's only giving you the negatives. Ever wonder why you just can't stop eating chips once you start? You know the feeling? You open a bag, take one bite, and before you know it, the whole bag is gone. But it's not just because they taste so darn good. No, there's something darker going on. Potato chips contain a deadly combo of fat, salt, and sugar. And together, they create a reaction in your brain that's just like an addictive drug. They trigger your brain's dopamine receptors, the same ones activated by substances like drugs, alcohol, and yes, even cigarettes. And the crazy part? This dopamine rush creates a cycle where your brain wants more and more and more. Every chip you eat is just fueling the craving, and before you know it, you're locked in a loop. Eating chips not because you're hungry, but because your brain is literally telling you to keep going. It's almost as if they were designed to make you hooked. Why do potato chips have this crazy power over us? Could it be that something as simple as a snack is triggering the same pleasure receptors as drugs or alcohol? And if that's true, is it possible that we've been manipulated by the very thing that's supposed to be a harmless snack? What's really happening in your brain is no accident. The combination of fat, salt, and sugar in potato chips hits your brain with a flood of dopamine, the same chemical that gets released when you do something that feels rewarding, like eating a delicious meal or indulging in your favorite guilty pleasure. And once that dopamine hits, your brain starts to associate the taste of chips with pleasure, so it tells you, I want more. This creates a cycle, an addiction where your brain is hooked, just like it would be with any other substance that affects your pleasure centers. This addiction doesn't just lead to a craving for chips. It can lead to overeating. You end up eating more and more, not because you're hungry, but because your brain is telling you to keep eating. And as you consume more, you gain more weight. And we all know what obesity leads to: heart disease, diabetes, and a whole host of other life-threatening conditions. So it's not just about the chips themselves. It's about the addictive cycle they create that keeps you coming back for more. Research has shown that the dopamine-driven addiction to foods like potato chips can cause overeating, leading to weight gain and obesity. And both of these are major risk factors for heart disease, diabetes, and other life-threatening diseases. It's not just about the chips, it's about the cycle they create that keeps you addicted and eating more, despite the harm it's doing to your health. So the next time you can't stop reaching for that bag of chips, just know, your brain is literally telling you to keep eating. It's almost as if they were designed to make you hooked, just like an addictive substance. Potato chips aren't just a snack. They're a carefully crafted addiction. And you're not just eating junk food. You're feeding your brain with a chemical cocktail that keeps you coming back for more. So, are potato chips really worse than smoking? It might sound shocking, but in some ways, yes. Think about it. Chemicals, trans fats, and addictive properties all rolled into one little snack. Potato chips pose a serious health risk that most of us are completely unaware of. We've been kept in the dark, all while food companies keep pushing these snacks as harmless, even healthy treats. They've convinced us that chips are nothing more than a simple snack. But as we've seen, there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. Just like cigarettes were once marketed as cool and harmless, potato chips have been sold to us as a quick fix for hunger, with no consequences. But the truth is, the damage caused by chips, from the addiction to the health risks, could be just as dangerous as smoking. So what can we do about it? The first step is being mindful of what we're putting into our bodies. Take a closer look at the foods you eat every day. Potato chips may seem harmless, but now you know the dark truth behind them. Next time you reach for that snack, ask yourself, is this worth it? Think about the potential risks to your health. and make a choice that's better for you. Let me know in the comments below if you're ready to ditch the chips and make healthier choices. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth about potato chips. It's time we all started making smarter choices for our health, our minds, and our bodies.